Peace and blessings, and welcome back to another video. If you don't already know, I'm Goddess Akasha, and I'm here to teach you about the path of Yanism. My goal is to awaken humanity's consciousness back to its original primordial divine feminine operating system. So bring back the cosmic mother, bring back our inner knowing, bring that knowledge of the divine mother from our subconscious back to our conscious mind. And in this video, I'll be discussing what that looks like. Okay, so in our previous video in this series, we spoke about our deity and what she looks like, what role she plays in our lives, and who the Divine Mother is, essentially. So in this video, this is the last part, the fourth part of the series, the image and implementation of the Black Woman is God philosophy. And I'll be discussing the acts of the people, what the people do, what our role is within Yanism. What it means to be a Yanist or a person who embodies the Black Woman is God philosophy, because that's what we're talking about, bringing that into fruition. Okay, so just to clarify, Yanism is the manifestation of the Black Woman is God philosophy. So we're turning our philosophy into a practice, okay? It's important to understand that Yanism is simultaneously a spiritual path to enlightenment and the tradition of the living goddess. So it is a way of life that transcends the normal conventions of modern society, with the power to simultaneously reverse and progress time for its practitioner. Okay, so I'll explain a little bit more what that means as we go along. Okay. So the Yanist occult teachings propel its practitioners into a state of self and universal realization. How soon they reach this state depends completely on their personal commitment. Okay, so it becomes a matter of how well you prioritize your commitment to the divine. So when it comes to the religiously devout, there are 3 levels of commitment that you can easily or readily recognize. And I'll just use some examples so that you can understand what I'm talking about. So the 3 levels of commitment. So the first level is basically faith-based. So you are running basically on the knowledge that the Black Woman is God, and you don't really do too much with that. You're just comfortable in knowing that she is the almighty creator, and you kind of move through life in the comfort of the mother. Okay, so think about the type of Christian who doesn't really go to church often, doesn't really do too much for the community or the church, and they kind of just go off of certain principles, love everyone, treat everyone as you want to be treated, things like that. And basically what they do is they just pray before they go to sleep, or they say grace over their meals, and they kind of just go to church on special occasions. So that's New Year's, Easter Sunday, like things like that. So that's when they go to church and they just pop in, and people are like, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time, So that's the basic level of someone who is religiously devout, okay? So the second level is the intermediate level. So that's where you come more into the practical level. That's more when you are more active in your faith, okay? So think about Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so Hebrew Israelites, what they're doing is they study, they keep the Sabbath, and they take class every Saturday. They don't eat or buy anything on that Saturday. They actually take that day to rest. And they wear the garments. You can recognize them on the street. They're out trying to teach and enlighten people. So that is the more active role of someone who is more serious about what it is that they believe, okay? So the third level is the Zenith, okay? That is when you have reached the epitome of complete devotedness, okay? And when you think about Taoist monks or Buddhist monks, those are the people who embody the ultimate of spiritual practice and they basically have mastered detachment from worldly desires. So they live in secluded areas. They spend their days chanting, praying, kneeling, practicing service and obedience and discipline. So that's basically what their entire lives is about, and they're not really fazed about what this world has to offer. So that is the third level. So within those three levels, it can be it can represent your level of consciousness, or just your level of commitment. Okay, so your level of commitment to the union with the mother, because that's what we're basically doing it for, to reunite with the ultimate consciousness. Okay, so we recognize Christians, Hebrew Israelites, and Buddhist monks or Taoists. We recognize those people, but what do Yonists look like? What sort of practices do they, participate in? Okay, so in Yanism, everything is considered sacred. Okay, so all life is honored as a manifestation of the divine. So nature is not harmed for profit. Animals are not harmed for sport. Giannis are mostly vegan or vegetarian, and if we do consume meat, it is made sure that we have honored them in their transition. Basically, say a prayer as they're transitioning from the physical realm to the spiritual realm. Okay, so that we give thanks for them offering up their body as food to us. Okay, just to give you a little bit of an understanding of what that means. Life, just as time, is seen as cyclical and not linear. So when it comes to living life, we tend to have more of a calm nature, and we're not suffering too much from anxiety because we're not so focused on an uncertain future. So when it comes to time, we follow a lunar calendar. Okay, so it consists of 13 months, and only because there's 13 moons in a year. The moon calendar synchronizes the human mind with the cyclic nature of universe, creating a harmonic existence for the practitioner. So with the Gregorian calendar being irregular and inconsistent, holidays change every year, and with that understanding, that it was made with the intent to basically make you more. It's basically made for the capitalistic structure in which the Western world is made of. Okay, so when you are leaving the capitalistic system and you're going into a more harmonious, spiritually energetic system, you tend to work with the cycles of nature and the moon, the lunar cycles, rather than the Gregorian calendar. So unlike the Gregorian calendar, the lunar calendar, which is also reminiscent of the Mayan calendar, is a 7-day week, 28-day cycle month. So basically all of the days of the week line up. So that means your holidays will be on the same day every year. Yanism devotees partake in the most ancient feasts and festivals, reminiscent of a time before the world was colonized, before the world was ruled by man. Okay, so almost all the festivals and celebrations of Yanism stem from before colonialism, or as a result of freedom from it. So there's a gathering or a feast of some kind to commemorate the cycles of nature. So on the day in which a equinox happens or the seasons are changing, that's when we would celebrate. So most of these you should already know. So think about the winter solstice. That is on December 21st, and that's, that marks the time in which a cycle is ending and another cycle is beginning. So that would be the winter solstice, the summer solstice, the spring equinox, and the fall equinox. So these are the times in which you may realize there actually are some notable holidays that you're used to already. So around the winter solstice, that's when we are basically celebrating, Christmas or Hanukkah or things like that. So that's what we would be celebrating during that time. But instead of on the 25th, it'll be on the 21st. Okay. So on the winter solstice on December 21st, just for clarification, I'm using Gregorian dates just for clarity until I'm able to dive more into the lunar calendar. But yes, December 21st, this time marks the importance of rest and dissolution. Okay, so honoring the darkness by deep introspection, appreciation for the transitional stages of life and creation of a new to be born in the spring. Okay, so this is basically a lot. It marks the time of, like, it's almost like having new moon basically every year. Okay, so it's the same particular energy as the new moon. So for the spring equinox, it has been known to be a holiday for Ishtar, or Istara. Okay, so basically, everyone, we should be thinking about Easter. So it's basically the day of Ishtar. So we're basically learning and understanding the original meanings of these particular holidays that have been taken, flipped, and just perverted in some sort of way. So this is on March 21st. So this again represents the renewing of life and the rejuvenation, rejuvenation and growth. Okay, so this is when springtime is happening. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you can notice it in nature, and that's when flowers and everything is starting to bloom and the trees are getting their leaves back on and everything. So this is life coming from the era of darkness. The next one is midsummer, or the summer solstice, which is June 21st. So this is when the sun is at its highest and the energy is at its peak. This is when we should be revitalized with the sun's rays and all of the vitamin D that we need. So this is a time of energy and fun and playfulness. The fall or autumn equinox. Okay, so that's on September 21st. And this is basically when the hours of daylight and nighttime have reached an equilibrium. So this is known as the time of balance. Okay, so basically the time between the yin and the yang, or the darkness and the light, is equaled out at this particular time. Okay, so this is a time of reflection and preparation for the cold months that are going to follow. Okay, so around this time, this is when we're actually preparing for October. Okay, so this is basically the beginning of the Libra season. Okay, so this is when we are coming into the energy of balance. Okay, so these are basically the seasons, and this is the time in which we will the time in which we celebrate and get together and have gatherings, and we have lots of food and we have a good time and enjoy ourselves. One of our major festivals is the Festival of Primordials, or Navratri, as it is called in the Hindu religion. Okay, so Navratri, just to break that down, Nava meaning 9. Okay, so basically it means 9 nights. Okay, so this is a 9-day or 9-night festival. Okay, so that's a major holiday for us, and each of those days is representative of a different aspect or manifestation of the goddess. Celebrations include chanting, worshiping of the goddess, each of her manifestations on those 9 days, making offerings, fasting, or basically partaking in one particular meal a day, juicing, things like that, basically to represent the purity of mind and body, to connect with the spirit. Okay, while that sounds typical like any other day, there's also music and stage performances, reenactions of myths and things like that, plays, all types of things that you can do to celebrate and just make the time enjoyable and merry. Okay, so that's pretty much what it is. This festival celebrates this existence and the freedom from the illusion of this existence. So the goddess grants us both. And as you learn and you go on the journey, you'll learn that and have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. We're basically celebrating the balance of it all, which is why this festival is held during the Libra season. So it's usually held during our third month, the ninth of our third lunar month. But of course, with it being in the lunar month, it does change in the Gregorian calendar from year to year, but it's usually between the very, very end of September and the very, very beginning of October. So Yanism consists of rituals and practices that are natural and conducive to the harmonic resonance of nature. Everything we do is carried out through a spiritual and energetic lens. And that goes for everything. So, birthing ceremonies, transition ceremonies, or death ceremonies, menstrual ceremonies. So yes, we do, honor the menstruation. When a young girl gets her menstruation, that's honored. It's not feared. Okay. And even marriage ceremonies, things like that. So everything that comes with life, we are, again, celebrating the rites of passage in our human existence, okay? So what attributes and characteristics does a Janist embody? So the information of Janism is global. Okay, so anyone can study and learn the wisdom of the goddess, so that you can be able to practice. It's really for everyone. It's for the advancement of humanity in general. Okay, but when it comes to the teachers or the priestesses or the healers, it would always be expressed in the manifestation of a eumelanin dominant feminine divine. Okay, so that means she would have to be acting in her highest self, and she would have to be eumelanated like myself. While a devotee can be of any race, the guru or oracle or goddess, she would be eumelanin because she would possess the natural ability to tap into the source and be able to bring forth the wisdom from the Akashic records and be able to teach you without looking at particular books or things like that. So there's a particular connection that Black goddesses have that no one else has, and that just comes from her being the ultimate form of the goddess in human form, in 3D human manifestation form. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Devotees of Janism show clear signs of brotherhood, sisterhood, and togetherness. So we're a big family and we prioritize unity. Okay, so living communally and practicing plural marriage, most notably polyandry, with the men ready to protect and serve their goddess as the living representation of the Most High God. Okay, that's very, very important, and what you won't see in any other spiritual practice. Okay, so our men exhibit strength and militance and self-discipline, as they are, basically our spiritual warriors. So when it comes to our aesthetics, it's pretty much diverse. As the goddess loves everything and she's a manifestation of everything, you will see her represented in everything. So in many different colors, many different ways in which you can style and dress yourself. So there really isn't no one way, or everyone doesn't have to wear the same thing. Like all the women do not have to wear long dresses to their ankles. Okay. So, it's not, you don't have to do that. Basically, how you express yourself is intuitive within yourself, and that is the message from the Divine Mother telling you how she wants to be expressed through your avatar. Okay, so that's why it will look different, and that's why everyone has that freedom to choose and figure out what their style is by listening to their inner self. Our style of dress is, free. When it comes to your hair, it's not customary for any particular gender to shave their head because your hair is your antenna. So, Yanis or devotees of the goddess are encouraged to grow their hair to heighten their extrasensory powers. Okay. So when it comes to worship sessions or Yani Puja, as it is called, devotees dress in earth tones, very light linens. You can be in your birthday suit. That is when you actually have a goddess in front of you, or if you're doing it to your altar or your statue or your image, whatever you may have. It's depending if there's people around, you can wear whatever you want, or you can go ahead and get rid of the clothes if you need to, because your skin is your clothes. Okay, so the goddess accepts you for who you are. Okay, so when it comes to the goddess who is being praised or worshipped, she would be dressed in red, or she can basically utilize the color in whichever energy she may be focusing on during that time. She can wear that particular color, but she would also wear light flowing fabrics. So chiffon, satin is good, silk is good, basically soft fabrics that would nothing that's too restricting, and something that's flowing and things like that. Okay, so again, more videos I will go into what Yani Puja is and the process and how devotees can serve their goddess and all these different things. So I'll go into that in future videos. So how do devotees connect with the Divine Mother? So in Yanism, the practitioner actually walks the ultimate path of union. Okay, so the ultimate path is basically 4 yogic paths. So if you have done some particular research, you would understand that a yogic path, or yoga in general, is actually, it means to be in union. So it's more so than just doing particular postures and stretches. That is what yoga has been reduced to in the Western world, but yoga in itself means path to union. So there's different ways in which you can do that. Okay, so in Yanism, we basically combine all 4 of those paths so that we can, connect with the Divine Mother. The first path is called Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so Bhakti is basically the path of love and devotion. It is the emotional path. So you can take an emotional path, you can take a mental path, an energetic path, and an active path. Okay, so right now we're talking about the emotional path. Okay, so it's called Bhakti Yoga. This is the one where you are embodying pure love, or the frequency of love. Okay, so this path involves surrendering yourself to God to realize the highest truth. Okay, so it's the path of pure love. And practitioners channel their emotions into devotion, developing humility, self-surrender, and the feeling of being an instrument in the hands of the divine. Okay, so Bhakti Yoga can be practiced in many ways. So there's praying, chanting, repeating a mantra or the name of the mother, and by participating in ceremonies and rituals. Okay, so you would basically choose a medium or a goddess to express your devotion to. So they would be acting as the physical manifestation of the Most High God, and you would surrender yourself to that goddess. Okay,
I remember that the infinite black goddess Im Kale Makwan of the universe. Im Wahoo Makwan of the omniverse. Im Papawut of the all expanding. Holy is God is beautiful. God is sexy. God is a freak. God is beautiful. God is sexy. God is a freak. God is beautiful. God is sexy. God is a freak. God is beautiful. God is sexy. God is a black woman. And she is beautiful. She is sexy.
The next path is the karma path. Okay, so that's the path of service. Okay. So it is the yoga of action, the path of selfless service, not just any service, but selfless service. So you have to basically get rid of the desire to want to reap the benefits of your actions. So most times whenever you see people, you know, taking videos or pictures of when they help the homeless, or, you know, when they're giving out or doing some sort of charity, that is not what selfless service is. And that's not how you're going to get into union with the divine. So it would be the opposite of that, meaning you're doing something because you're trying to understand oneness. You're trying to understand, you're trying to get rid of the attachments of the world. Okay, so you have to be selfless. So in karma yoga, you are basically learning to release your ego. So that's pretty much what you're releasing when you're focusing more on helping someone else, more so than what you get from what you're helping is doing, right? Because if you're helping someone with the intent to receive something, whether it's notoriety or whatever it may be, then are you really helping them, or are you trying to truly help yourself? You get what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. You have to become selfish in order to get rid of the ego of I'm ultimately just serving self. You understand? So we get rid of that. The next one is Raja Yoga. So this is the one about meditation. So in this particular yoga, there is a scientific step-by-step approach to yoga, which is controlling your mind, basically having control over your mind and your body. So when it comes to this, the mind is systematically analyzed and various techniques are applied to bring it under control. So this process turns physical and mental energy into spiritual energy. Is Jnana yoga, and that is the yoga of knowledge. It's more of a philosophical approach. Okay, so this is basically the approach that the conscious community is most comfortable with. So that's when you are utilizing the left part of your brain and you are just filling yourself with knowledge, studying scriptures and things like that, and basically trying to understand the divine in the intellect.
This you didn't even know that this right here, you've been seeing it all your life, and I'm talking about the outline of this. You've been seeing it all your life. The vesicle ain't nothing but the pussy. And it's on every damn church, above every white church, they got this. this shit going. You know what I'm saying? That's the doorway. So now I'm getting ready to become a temple. I'm gonna get ready to become a damn altar for that. This right here. As long as I got a faith, she got a place to sit. So I'm gonna do that to Tony Braxton. I will never breathe again. So she gonna be sitting on my head. I got a brand new hat.
So with taking the intellectual route, you are basically taking in the information not just to have it to supplement not just taking it to feed your ego, but taking it in and actually utilizing it as a basis for your meditation, a basis for your introspection or self-analysis. Basically, what this information is telling you is basically application of the knowledge as well. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to take in the knowledge and be able to compare it to how you're actually living your life and who you are, basically, and how you can represent the divine in this particular form. So you aren't just taking it in to have it, to, participate in debates or anything like that, but you're taking it in to basically do more introspection and meditation and focus on that and basically come into understanding the divine through your mind. Okay, so it's just another path, but all four of these paths get you to the same place. And a lot of times different people choose one path and they take one path because it's most comfortable to them. But when it comes down to Yanism, you want to make sure that you are combining all four paths because that's the best way to be most efficient. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to fall off your path because you are only activating one part of how to get there. You know what I'm saying? So if your goal is to actually become one with the almighty consciousness, then you would do all that it takes to do so, right? I think so. So this concludes our series for the image and implementation of the Black Woman is God philosophy. So after these 4 videos, you should have a better and clearer understanding of of how to embody the Black Woman is God philosophy, who we are, who we worship, how we look, what we do, all of that stuff. You should have a better understanding. But again, this is just a short video. I will be going more in depth about a lot of these things that I spoke about today in future videos. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, stay tuned, and also follow me on Instagram, which is _Yanism_. So that's YONISM. Yoniism, so the study of the Yoni, the study of the womb. Okay, womb wisdom, basically that's what Yanism is. And I feel like this particular knowledge has been altered and it's been fruitless up until this point. Like as many years as the Black Woman is God philosophy has been brought to light, it has been fruitless. It's a lot more than just a saying. Okay, so but it seems to have been reduced to just that. So I really want to bring you guys the mysteries of the goddess to the public, just so that we can actually start living and utilizing this knowledge and wisdom to transform humanity, and bring back harmony to this existence. But of course, there are some things that is forbidden for me to tell the public. It's really reserved for the initiates or those who are fully devout, those who have reached their zenith. That's when you will have access to certain information. But other than that, whatever was commonly known in the past is what I'll be sharing with you. But again, I can't wait. And also, anyone who is interested, or you are looking to, become more serious with your spiritual path or practice, just let me know. And I'll be working closely with those who want to take things more seriously, and they actually care about the evolution of humanity's consciousness. So and it starts with yourself, it starts with you, and we can help others along the way, but it starts with yourself. Okay, so again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Okay, so peace, love, and don't forget to worship the Yanni. Okay, oh, I forgot to show you, this is our Yanni mudra. Okay, so be sure to learn this. Be sure to learn this. Okay, and that's pretty much how we represent each other. You've seen it before. I know you've seen it, but a lot of times people are using it and they don't really have an understanding of what it is. Okay, so when you're meditating, that's what you would do. And it'll help you go deeper within. Okay, but again, I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, love and blessings.